New York, brace yourself, because the city might just be about to hand the keys to the most radical, untested mayoral candidate in its history. Zohran Mamdani is selling a revolution in a suit and tie, but behind the polished image is a political agenda that could blow a hole straight through the city's economy, safety, and unity. He's the darling of the far left, the nightmare of the business class, and the biggest gamble New Yorkers have been asked to take in a generation. And if you think that's exaggeration, just wait. At 33, Mamdani is young and charismatic, but his lack of executive or administrative experience makes his sweeping promises feel like a leap into the unknown. His agenda has been called overshooting de Blasio and exuberantly disconnected from real budgets and bureaucracies, raising doubts about his ability to manage the largest municipal government in America. His resume is thin, his managerial track record non-existent, and yet he's campaigning as if running a city of 8 million is a beginner's project. He promises sweeping initiatives, free childcare, rent freezes, free buses, and city-run grocery stores, all to be funded through massive tax hikes on the wealthy. Wall Street and the city's investment class are already murmuring about relocating if he wins, fearing his tax plan will trigger an exodus of both capital and jobs. The danger isn't just in losing the rich, it's in losing the tax base that funds the very services he claims to protect. In education, Mamdani opposes charter school expansion, standing firmly with teachers' unions. But this position has drawn backlash from low-income and minority families who depend on charters for better educational outcomes. Critics say it's the perfect example of ideology overriding opportunity, sacrificing children's futures to score political points. Even his image carries contradictions. On the campaign trail, Mamdani dresses in polished suits and ties, projecting establishment respectability while promoting a radical agenda. To some, it's a double standard, wrapping far-left policies in mainstream packaging to soften their impact on voters. For all his talk about being a champion of the marginalized, he has struggled to connect with working-class Black voters. His strongest support comes from young, progressive, middle-class circles, raising questions about whether he can represent the true diversity of New York's electorate. His primary win came in a contest driven by novelty and excitement, but such momentum is fragile. If voter enthusiasm wanes before November, lower turnout among moderates and older residents could sink his chances. In that case, a disciplined Republican challenger, especially one backed by a Trump-aligned national machine, could flip the mayoralty. Community tensions are already brewing. Italian-American heritage groups accuse him of hate for opposing Columbus memorials and even flipping off a Columbus statue. These moments reinforce fears that he is dismissive of traditions held dear by entire cultural communities, making it harder to unify the city. London has already run this experiment, and Sadiq Khan's tenure has been marred by soaring crime, economic stagnation, and collapsing public trust. One failed example should be enough to make New Yorkers think twice before importing the same model. Mamdani's unapologetic tone and polarizing rhetoric risk deepening New York's divides. Instead of bridging communities, his approach appears built on confrontation and ideological purity, which could make the city even harder to govern in a time of growing political and cultural fractures. And here is the point many are whispering but few will say aloud. Mamdani has made his pro-Palestine stance central to his political identity, even refusing to clearly disavow the slogan, "Globalize the Intifada," a phrase many see as violent and extremist. While it fires up his progressive base, it alienates Jewish, moderate, and centrist voters and plays directly into the narrative that he is sympathetic to hardline Islamist causes. This is not the politics of unity, it is the politics of division, and it risks turning New York into the next global stage for imported ideological battles. This race isn't just about a candidate, it's about the future DNA of New York City. Do we hand over the keys to an untested ideologue with a radical blueprint? Or do we demand leadership grounded in reality, experience, and unity? November will decide whether Mamdani's movement becomes law or a cautionary footnote. London has already paid the price for putting ideology over results. Will New York learn from it? What do you think? Visionary or disaster waiting to happen? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and stay within Tellings, where we cut through the noise, break down the spin, and bring you the unfiltered truth.